From the Bramble Jam Network studios in Greenville, South Carolina, it's the Diss List with Brandon Dan.
It's the Diss List with Brandon Dan.
It's the Diss List with Brandon Dan. It's the Diss List with Brandon Dan. It's the Diss List with Brandon Dan.
Yes! Incredible!
Woo!
They
KC
sound
and the Moneymakers
crisp.
are on a heater this morning, Bran.
I will say this.
Oh my goodness.
They're so good that I've only ever heard them play that song.
That's right.
And I never get
No,
sick of it.
and sometimes they come in and I'm like, they're going through the motions and they're still amazing. Other times I'm coming in and I'm like, have they slept last night?
No,
they just are on a heater.
And it doesn't matter, honestly.
It
doesn't
doesn't.
matter one or the
It
other. They're
doesn't.
amazing every time.
Boy, oh boy.
Welcome to another
Man.
episode of the Diss List, a very simple show where somebody, a friend, brings a list of their choosing of something that they're passionate about, talk us through that list, and then Dan, you and I get to make some changes to it.
That's right.
To try to make an even better list, and at the end of the day, we put it all
Our
back
list
into the
to the
hands
test.
of
That's right.
of the guests, and they get to pick which list is the best list. It's the Diss List. Dan, today's an exciting day.
It is.
Because you take it away. Why? This is an exciting day for so many reasons, the list, but I'm more excited about our guest today.
You're more excited about our guest
Yeah,
than the
than I
list,
am
huh?
about the
That's
list.
not what you told me.
I'm
who
more
could-
excited about our guest.
Who couldn't be excited about our guest? Is he a journalist? Yeah. Is he a critic? You bet. Is he a writer and a personality? You bet. You bet. Does he also run Pop Heist, where you should be going to get your entertainment reviews and et al.? It's the one, it's the only, it's Brett White.
Wow.
Hi.
Brett, how are you,
Hello
buddy?
there. I'm doing great. Hey, just the hits keep coming. And by that I mean emotional hits, but also good things. Just all sorts of hits keep
All
coming.
the
baby.
hits. That's exactly right.
Hits of any kind. Brett, we're excited to have you here because we just like hanging out with you, but also because you picked a very, very exciting list today. A list that I think everybody is going to have some thoughts on, and that's always the goal with these lists.
Also, there's one Alonzo Duralde who always complains that we don't think anything happened before 1980.
That's true.
Oh,
We have people
God,
that-
yeah, agreed.
We-
I
we
mean, not
have-
agreed about y'all, but just agreed about in general culture. I literally have like a pitch on one of my essays I need to write is TV history is older than Friends.
That's right. Yeah. That's a good one. And I think you're going to prove it here with your topic. But we've had people come on to give their best movie soundtracks ever. And Alonzo's over there going, there were movies before 1979. So what's your list? What did you bring us, Brett?
Oh, pre-1980s sitcoms.
Yeah,
Boom.
absolutely.
Now, I will be honest with you. I heard that you were bringing this list, and I got concerned, and rightfully so. You've been with me on this show
yes,
before,
yeah.
and I struggle with
For
things.
a guy that hasn't, we did the top 10 movie soundtracks, the list that was brought, Brett, he had seen one movie. One of the movies.
Total.
He had not seen Grease. He had not seen Almost Famous.
It's true.
He had
All
not
of that
seen,
is true. All of that is true.
I mean, he had not seen absolute classic. Everyone has seen this
But
movie movies.
as I began to think through what would I have on this list, doing some Googling, I realized I actually watched a lot of these shows growing up with my parents because I grew up in a squeaky clean house, no bad language, nothing like that. So what's safe is TV Land. What's safe is Nick at Night.
Postcodes, Nick at Night, TV
Yes.
Land stuff.
And
yes.
so I've seen a lot of these shows, and I actually love a lot of these shows. And so I do actually have thoughts on this subject. Now, I don't know where Brett's going to go. Brett might go in a direction, and it could be 10 shows that I didn't know about. But
I'm Dickens, he's Spinster.
yeah,
Which is a great show starring John Aston.
I will say this: if Dobie Gillis isn't number one, then then we walk.
Toby Gillis was on my short list. I mean, shout out.
Really?
Shout out.
Shout
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
The thing I realized about this list, I mean, I didn't have cable as a kid, but I went over to my grandparents' house, watched Nick at Night, and loved dozens of different shows that I would see on Nick at Night growing up. And I think there was much more consensus on what the best sitcoms were before 1980 because there was a lot fewer that were being made than now, where every streamer has their own set of TV shows they want you to watch.
Well, and none of them last longer than 30 episodes. You don't actually get to learn the characters and know them as well as you do with the old shows. I mean, y'all are both proving my theory that I don't call myself a millennial. I call myself a member of the Nick at Night generation.
The Nick at Night generation.
Well,
That is what of like you born in the 80s, growing up watching television from the 50s to 70s that is often referencing movies from the 30s.
There you go. Yeah. We covered it all.
It's this weird thing where like I relate more to people in their 60s and 70s than I do someone in their 20s.
You're like a zennial. Isn't that what they call them when it's like a Gen X millennial crossover? This is called
okay, yeah, because I
Zennial.
thought there was like X and
Yeah. I will say what's interesting now is, and you brought up Friends and that there is TV before Friends. Friends is now Nick at Night, which is crazy to me. But you bring like, what is Nick at Night going to be in 10, 20 years? Like, what are they going to have?
It won't exist.
They won't
I don't
have
think
anything. It won't have
probably
anything.
won't exist in the next 5 years. I think cable's disappearing.
Is there any qualification that you gave to this list, Brett, like that we need to know about? Anything that maybe made you choose one show over the other? Because there are 24 classics here.
Oh yeah, I mean, I personally am just like, what do I like is kind of what it came down to. Because I also am very like favorite and best are two different lists.
Yeah, we talk about this on this show all the time.
And I waffled back and forth. Like I think there's like probably one entry on the list. I was like, well, I have to put that on there. I don't really like that show, but like I have
Interesting.
to acknowledge it. But then there's like my personal favorites like Batman and the Addams Family, which were also on my like short list and didn't make the cut. But
Batman,
like,
not a sitcom though. Not a sitcom.
but Batman was nominated for Best Comedy at the Emmys.
Well, there you go.
Which is where I like grandfather it in because like I don't know, the Emmys said it was.
The Emmys say it's comedy. It's
if
comedy.
Batman and the Bear are comedy, then they're comedy.
Yeah.
Brett, are these TV shows? Is it possible that they had episodes in the 80s? So as long as they started in the 70s, that's all that matters?
And I only considered like with one of them started in I think like 78, and I was like, well, is its best episode before 1980? And I was like, yes, it was. So boom, I that gave it enough oomph to get into the list.
All right, fair enough. I'm very excited to see where you go with this. Let's get started. Let's start with number 10, pre-1980 sitcoms. Brett White, what do you got?
Oh, what do I have? I don't even have my list.
Oh yeah, let's pull
you would need to know
your
that.
list.
I'll pull. Wait, I just sent it. I just reminded you of it. So let me get sent. Let me go back to my. There we go. Taxi.
Taxi.
Now I'm prepared.
Tell us about Taxi, Brett.
Well, Taxi is literally the one that I was like, it aired, I think it started in 78. And so like it aired, I was like, did Reverend Jim's A Space Odyssey air before the 80s? Yes, it did. Which basically, if you look at Taxi, Taxi is like this weird patient zero for just like the greatest performers of all time.
Yes.
It's really nuts because you have like Andy Kaufman, Judd Hirsch, Danny DeVito, Tony Danza, Mary Lou Henner, Jeff Conaway, pre-Grease. Rhea Perlman is on there. Some Carol Kane, like every and of course Christopher Lloyd.
Whoa,
yeah. Oh, if you're
as Reverend Jim.
That's right.
Which is it is one of the greatest ensembles of all time. And I noted like during my rewatch of the show, it is also one of the most physical comedy, and not like pratfalls, but like this is a cast that like runs and jumps and like does like wrestles and like is a very like kind of aggressive sitcom at that. And it's a great show.
Brand, have you ever seen Taxi?
I know. I talked to Big Game.
Brand, you just said you felt good about this.
I know. I talked to Big Game. I have not seen Taxi. I will be honest. I'm hearing you talk about this cast.
You should check out
and
Taxi.
I'm mad at myself that I have not seen Taxi. I am going to go find where it is now. Hopefully it's streaming somewhere on one of the 1,000 streamers. I need to watch this show. This sounds phenomenal.
Taxi's great. Taxi would be higher on my list. I actually, when you said it, looked to see if it aired mostly in the 70s because I didn't, before 1980. If this counts, this is, in my opinion, gonna be higher than 10 for me because growing up, this was a fun time.
What's the general idea? They all like drive taxis. Is that the whole thing?
Yeah, it is just set in a taxi
like a taxi
dispatch
cab dispatch office.
Okay.
it also is the bridge between. So there are like certain tent poles of sitcoms that I think are like genesis points. One of them is the Mary Tyler Moore Show, which from Mary Tyler Moore Show you eventually get The Simpsons because of James L. Brooks. But then also James L. Brooks, Ed Weinberger, David Davis, all them also did Taxi. And in between, and after this, they do Cheers. And so there's like Mary Tyler Moore, Cheers, and then Taxi is like
this
right there.
does have a little bit of Cheers vein in it. I think you'd really enjoy the show, Brandon.
It sounds like what is Andy Kaufman's deal in this show? Like
what?
Well, eventually it was like whatever he wanted to do because they wanted to keep him invested because he did not care.
He didn't want to be there.
Yeah. He was Latka Gravis, who was the Taxi Dispatch's mechanic, who was from, oh God, I can't remember where he was from, but he like, I did talk to
Thank you very much.
And he was, just a very, as Wikipedia describes him, innocent and wide-eyed.
Yes.
But later on,
he's just coasting, and it's hilarious. It's peak, like it is as Andy Kaufman gets. It really is.
Yeah, it's like if you want him on a sitcom, this is what he's going to do. He's going to do 16 out of the 24 episodes, and sometimes he's going to be Tony, his lounge singer character.
Yes. Yeah. Tony Clifton. Yeah,
I love Andy Kaufman. I just find him so interesting, and so him being in this sitcom like piques my interest even more. I got to watch it. I got to watch this one. Hopefully, number 9. Hopefully, we get on track. I know I talked about.
I know these.
I'm gonna laugh. I'm gonna laugh so hard if I haven't seen any of these.
Did you know what Dobie Gillis was?
Yeah, I know Dobie Gillis.
Okay, good.
Oh wow, you're knowing Dobie Gillis, but not Tad. Honestly, that's a big swing.
I'm sorry, guys. All right, now let's do number 9. Let's see if I get on track
Taxi
here.
was a little bit more like PG than G. Like,
God, yeah.
So that's probably why. Yeah. There was
physically, it was a dirty sitcom.
Yes.
Everyone in it
that's
was
why
like
you didn't watch it.
Poor and angry.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
And also Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
My number 9 is Bewitched.
Okay.
Yeah. I've seen Bewitched. I've seen it.
Yeah.
Which I think you have to, because when I was making my list, I was like, you have to include one of the
Genie
1960s this what is this premise, like my mother is a car, I'm a flying nun, there's a Martian next door, I got a genie in a bottle, and then of course Bewitched is the archetype, is like it's the top tier of those, because weirdly very socially progressive, and they use the witch metaphor as a metaphor for like a lot of stuff. Like before X-Men was doing that with like mutants and stuff, Bewitched was like, witches are a persecuted minority, and we're going to talk about stereotypes via witches. Like, pretty wild.
Yeah. You've seen Bewitched?
I've seen Bewitched.
You're back on board.
I like Bewitched. I think it's a really fun show, so I'm happy to see it at number 9.
As a kid, I didn't pick up on the subtext of Bewitched. It was in there with I Dream of Jeannie and all of those shows. But looking back, which one holds up the best is this one. This one, if you're going to pick one, none of these I don't think would be on my list for my personal like memory and enjoyment. But if you're going to pick one, Bewitched is the call here for sure.
And I think that Bewitched, just in terms of like a vibe, like I always say, Bewitched production design reminds me the most of Mad Men. Like if Mad Men pulled from one sitcom, it probably pulled most from Bewitched, because it's like a lot of clean lines, a lot of like very saturated but even colors. The fashion in it is so good. And of course, Paul Lynde as Uncle Arthur.
Well, yeah.
One of my personal all-time heroes, and just fantastic character, fantastic.
And then that wonderful Will Ferrell movie.
Oh God,
we all love it. We know it.
Truly awful. Truly one of the most like, why would you make these decisions would make it a movie?
A terrible movie. And I know we were remake happy. I mean, Starsky and Hutch. We were making a lot of these.
Yeah.
Wow, I couldn't believe it, and I was such a big Will Ferrell fan as
just make them actually Darren.
Yeah, just do it.
Do that. Just do it.
Dare to do it. Just make it a normal reboot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was also a long-lasting show. One of those shows notable for going from black and white to color, and then having the first 2 seasons recolorized. I grew up only knowing the black and white episodes because Nick at Night only had those at first.
I would
Interesting.
yep, same. I would assume there's going to be more of that on our list to come. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but if there's no more of the black and white to color shows, there will be some fighting.
Oh, I think there probably is. I don't know.
Yeah, there is.
We'll see.
There's
How
gotta be.
how
There's
long
gotta
was this?
be.
How long was it on the air? Do you know off the top of your head?
Yeah, well, I have the Bewitched was on for eight seasons.
Okay, yeah.
So which is 254 episodes.
Wow.
74. Oh, Bewitched was also wild in that they would just like redo scripts. Like just do the script again like seasons later. Like that's some wild stuff.
I mean, you're doing 30, almost 32 a season. That's an insane amount of work to do,
And then
especially at the time.
We're too
period.
short. What do we do? I got an idea.
there's also an episode where to show how progressive, like Elizabeth Montgomery was a very progressive person, was like really fighting to like make sure that Bewitched was actually being like ahead of the curve. And there's an episode where Tabitha, their daughter's best friend, is a little black girl. And so I can't remember, something happens, but then Tabitha, who is a witch, but also a child, so like the powers of a god and a child, she like twinkles her nose and makes herself a white, like, 4-year-old with black spots, and then her friend black with white spots. And it is a weird episode. It is one of those where it's just like, I don't even know how to approach this, because I also think that the idea came from they like solicited a predominantly black elementary school for like story ideas, and this is the one they pitched, or something wild. And it's one of these like, basically it's just like, in retrospect, good for them.
Yeah.
They were trying.
At the
Hey,
time.
they did something.
That's failing forward is all that is.
Yeah. Wild. So
That
like
is
Bewitched
crazy.
was progressive and aggressive.
I love that.
Progressive and
And regressive. It's progressive. I'm glad this is here of these. I mean, unless we're going to go heavy with these types of shows moving forward, I'm fine with it at 9. I'm fine.
I
with
like
it
it at 9. I like it at 9. Let's get to 8. Number 8. What do we got?
All in the Family, which is the one that I felt like I had to include, even though like I personally have rarely watched it because it wasn't a Nick at Night show when I was a kid.
I was about to say, Brett and I must have grown up in very similar environments, because this is the first one you've mentioned that I don't have a lot of memories of as a child watching.
Yeah, I think it became a TV Land show. Like there was I remember like the kids in the mid-90s, there was a distinction between Nick at Night shows and TV Land shows. TV Land, you had your Petticoat Junks and your Hogan's Heroes.
Yeah.
Nick at Night was Donna Reed and Lucy Desi Comedy Hour, So like All in the Family, you have to have a Norman Lear show. And I think of all the Norman Lear shows, like this is the best. Although I want to watch more of Maude because I love B. Arthur and I might like Maude more than All in the Family, but All in the Family's good.
You seen this one?
I've seen All in the Family.
Oh, look at you. You're on a roll now, buddy.
I actually love All in the Family. My dad was really liked All in the Family. I think because of the it's like, one of those type of shows.
One of those types. You get it.
Yeah, that kind of show.
You know what I'm talking about? Gotta get you with
You're the meathead? Are
Yeah.
you the meathead?
Basically. All in the I don't know. I really liked the program, and I haven't seen it in many, many years, but I remember really liking it and thinking it was really funny. Which is what you want out of a sitcom, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So it did cross that. Like, it's a very funny show.
I didn't get to watch it at all because I was watching Nick at Night and it wasn't on there. And then my recollection of being this character seems like the worst human being.
Yeah.
And then it turns out that's the point.
That's what I'm getting
Yeah.
at.
But like,
Yeah.
as a kid, I didn't know that was the point. And so it was just like, what I could go back to the good stuff over on Nick at Night, and I just never returned. So I understand the history of this. And Norman Lear, a legend, you and I got to see a Q&A with him.
did.
And Jared Carmichael at the ATX Festival in 2016,
That was great.
17.
Oh, gorgeous.
And it was, and we watched the documentary
About it, which was amazing.
And he did he did a presentation before and a Q&A after. He was 92 or 3 at the time, I believe. And just a wealth of information and knowledge, and just sharp as ever. So I'm thrilled Norman Lear's here, but this doesn't do anything for me. This is the first one where I'm like, I don't have a personal attachment to this. So
Interesting.
Now, I do appreciate, I do believe that this was the first sitcom to have a recurring gay character on it. Like Edith Bunker had a very close friend who was trans, I believe. And then, of
Wow.
course, and then appears multiple times and then is murdered.
Oh,
Because All in the Family, fun time on
Fun
Saturday
time.
night watching All in the Family.
yeah.
Which is like they did serious stuff.
did
I mean, there's like
really
a
serious
two-parter where
stuff.
like Edith like questions her belief in God
Yeah.
and stuff, which I think is spurred on by the death of her friend. But kudos to All in the Family for tackling issues head on and in ways that I think are still salient and well done today.
All right.
Also, Rob Reiner's adorable.
Rob
I don't know.
I saw him in the Bear. Did you see him in the Bear this season?
Yes.
He was
yes.
he was a good time at playing
He's
a
great.
character. He was still crushing it.
Love it.
Yeah.
Number 7, pre
Oh, baby.
1980s sitcom. What do
Here we
got?
go.
Get Smart.
Yeah.
Smart.
I loved this show as a kid. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Get Smart is great.
Oh,
Get Smart is, I mean, it's like original Mel Brooks and Buck Henry.
come on.
Spy comedy at the height of like the early mid 60s mod spy craze. You get this slapstick, bizarre, like it's almost like a sketch comedy show in that they have these like recurring bits like the cone of silence, which
Yes.
also they can't hear each other.
Yep.
And do it multiple times.
Oh
And
my
it's always
gosh.
funny. And like just a wealth of characters, just like a deep bench of just weirdos. It's such a Don Adams, Barbara Feldon. You gotta love them.
This might be, if you had asked 10-year-old Dan to rank these shows, he would have picked Get Smart 1.
Interesting.
Because
wow.
there was just enough of a mystery element to the proceedings every week that kept you invested, at least 10-year-old me, while being the bits were consistently funny. And
Action.
yeah,
Yeah.
I had a blast with this show. I'm so happy it was going to be, if you didn't have it on your list, I was going to put it on this list. So happy this is here. Brandon, you big Get Smart guy?
I'm not a big Get Smart guy. Maybe it's because maybe I watched it too young to really be able to appreciate it.
Maybe
but
you saw the Steve Carell movie once again.
Now
Better than the
I-
Bewitched.
Better than
we
movie.
gotta be honest.
Fair.
Do like the Steve Carell movie,
Of course.
But the show was just kind of. I think I need to watch it again.
Oh, man.
Now that I'm
What a fun
older
time.
than like 8.
I mean, like,
and
wasn't
really
was
enjoy this
right at the same
this
time
show.
as Dragnet, and Dragnet being really
Oh,
serious.
Dragnet's like 50s.
Okay.
So this comes like in mid 60s. The
Perfect
Get Smart
spoof.
pilot was black and white. And then the series proper is in color and glorious color. It is that gorgeous mid late 60s mod color. It's gorgeous.
How can you forget Chaos with a K?
Yeah, Chaos with a K,
That's
baby.
right. Chaos. That's the villains. How do you know they're villains?
And
What's Chaos with
Another style icon, Agent 99, Barbara Feldon, is part of my holy triumvirate of sitcom style icons. We've already seen one, Samantha Stevens, Elizabeth Montgomery, Bewitched, style icon. Barbara Feldon's Agent 99. The hats, the mini dresses, like she looks amazing.
There you
Also
go.
the hair, she's got like the blunt bob and like it's so twiggy and good.
I am
The
going to
blunt
promise
bob.
you,
Yeah, the
Brad,
blunt
that
bob.
I'm going to go back and watch them Get Smart.
You also said if he doesn't mention the blunt bob, I'm going to be.
I know.
pissed.
That was the one
Yeah.
thing that I wanted to make sure got mentioned is
Yeah.
Blood Bob. So
Which is much better than the bunt blob.
That's
Why not?
true.
Yeah.
Which is what I made for Christmas and no one liked it.
Oh.
I don't know. What? I don't know.
let's
Shoe phone.
Shoe phone.
Do you remember Brett's Bun
phone.
Blob? Oh, that was a tough year.
Tough year.
Christmas 2019 was brutal.
Let's not talk about it. Let's get to what? How about we do one more and then we take a break?
I love
You
that,
like that?
for us. Yeah.
Number-
So far, Brett's knocking it out of the park, in my
It's a
opinion.
good list.
Yeah.
It's a good
Yeah.
list. Number 6. What do we got?
My would be higher if I was just taking my opinion into account. But
Okay.
Green Acres. oh, how I love Green Acres so much.
Green
Like,
Acres is the place to
You
be.
have to have one of the rural one of the rural sitcoms on here. You know, you have to have an Andy Griffith, a Beverly Hillbillies.
Beverly Hillbillies, yeah.
You have to have one of those. But to me, Green Acres is the surreal one. Green Acres is the one that is still makes my husband laugh, which is how I know that he isn't just like laughing from recall. He's like, what? Green Acres is like, well, Green Acres is a news radio antecedent predecessor, which Dave Foley's character on News Radio is obsessed with Green Acres. And when you realize that, it's like these are both shows about weirdos in a setting that gets surreal in unexpected ways. It stars Eddie Albert, one of the most handsome men ever on sitcoms, and Ava Gabor, one of the most glamorous women ever on sitcoms. And they're rich, and then they move to the country, and they live in a horrible house that is always falling apart, are always being swindled by Mr. Haney. They have Ebb, who is their sweet but dopey farmhand. They have a pig who becomes a TV star.
Yeah.
Arnold Ziffel. And now my cat wants out. Okay, y'all talk for a second.
Totally fine. Have you seen Green Acres?
I have seen Green Acres as well. Also, I will say he mentioned a couple Beverly Hillbillies, Andrew Griffith. Those two shows in particular were on all the time in my house. Green Acres was not, for whatever reason. So I think what I'm finding out here is a lot of my list is going to be made up of what my parents liked, which is not, I don't think I've ever done a list like that before here. So it's very interesting. Wasn't a big Green Acres house growing up. I have seen the program, but don't have a ton of memories of it, to be honest.
I don't know which one came out first. I always consider this the reverse Beverly Hillbillies. And as a kid, I liked the Beverly Hillbillies a lot, and I typically didn't watch Green Acres as much, and it may have been just wasted on me because I was too young. But I was a Beverly Hillbillies fan because I just thought it being from the South, and I know you are too, Brett. Like I just thought the way that these folks are now, you look at it and you're like, man, this really is a stereotype where people think that people in the South don't know anything. But back then it was like, I felt like I was in on the joke. Like, I, as a Southerner, I can make fun of Southerners. And so I just had this thing where I was like, yeah, that is funny. Now, I don't know if I like it as much now as I did as a kid, but as a kid, Beverly Hillbillies was my jam.
I think you would love Green Acres now because in Green Acres, because it is flipped and it's the Hungarian glamour girl and the New York City boy moving to the country. The Southern characters on this show are so much like still very Southern, but also smarter and like, well, they're also not smarter, but they know more and they get the one up on the rich people all the time. And it's so good. What I also love about this is it might be like the first true cinematic universe in that like Beverly Hillbillies is first. From Beverly Hillbillies, Petticoat Junction is first. Oh, I can't remember. I read a whole article about this. But Petticoat Junction, Green Acres, and Beverly Hillbillies all are one universe. And a lot of the supporting cast of Petticoat Junction and Green Acres are the same.
Wow.
Like the characters pop back and forth. And when Green Acres started, there are a lot of Petticoat Junction episodes from that season that are about the Douglases moving to Hooterville.
Interesting.
And it's really wild. I mean, a lot of my drag persona is inspired by Ava Gabor's character on this show, so it also has a very personal impact upon me. A lot of my guy style is Oliver Wendell Douglas. I love him. It's just such a great. Oh, also, my favorite example of the surrealness of the show is, you know how every single sitcom starts with like written by, directed by. On Green Acres, they can see those names.
Wow.
And every now and then they're like, like Ava Goldberg was like, hold on, darling, wait until the names are done.
That's so funny.
Or they'll like crack an egg and out will come a name. Like they interact with the titles. Eventually it becomes a running joke that Lisa, Ava Gabor's character, can see them and no one else can.
That's funny.
Which is just an example of just how bizarre this show is. And it's so good. And truly like a show doing the most, because Beverly Hillbillies is pretty dumb. It's pretty like very simple. But Green Acres is like the weird kid in the back of the class that's like doing all the smart stuff. You're like, Should you be here?
I got to be honest. I feel like I need to go watch Green Acres.
Yeah.
I need to go
so
watch
good.
it and
Gotta give it a shake.
make an informed opinion on it because this sounds fantastic. And I only watched a couple of episodes when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Not many.
So great.
That's fantastic.
Dan, let's take a break.
I love
we'll
it.
Come back. We will get to 5 through 1 of the pre-1980s.
And I'm not putting any pressure on Brett, but I mean, there's some heavy, there are maybe half a dozen heavy hitters, and you got 5 spots left. So
It's a lot.
5 out of 6, baby.
I
They're
do-
all good. 5 out of 6 will be there.
We'll be right back on the disc list.
with Brandon Dan.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Welcome back.
Boy.
We're having fun today. We're talking pre-1980s sitcoms.
You know what we need to do
with
next
Brett White.
time?
What's that?
Brett White comes back and he does his top 10 movies based upon sitcoms or TV shows.
Oh, Very Brady sequel is number 1. Absolutely. It's like one of my favorite movies of all time. Did you expect me to have such a passionate, immediate response to that?
You were locked and loaded.
Brett's gonna change
with
lists
Very
mid-episode.
Brady sequel.
It's just the best 10 jokes from a Very Brady sequel. I mean, oh man, the Marsha and Jan is 2 of the greatest comedic performances of the 90s. Christine
Wow.
Taylor as Marsha Brady. Just like,
Very Brady
sure, Jan,
sequel
so good.
number
so good.
1.
Oh my God, sorry.
I didn't see it coming. No, you were locked and loaded there.
So I think about that movie all the
Are
time.
you-
Rent free.
Are you okay moving on with the current list, or would you like to?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'll get
okay.
hyped. I'll get hyped back up.
Before we dive into 5, let's remind the people at home what we have so far for the pre-1980s sitcoms. 10, Taxi. Number 9, Bewitched. Number 8, All in the Family. Number 7, Get Smart. Number 6, Green Acres. That gets us to number 5, which is what, Brad?
The Odd Couple.
Yeah.
The Odd Couple. You have to have a
absolutely.
Gary Marshall sitcom, and could have gone Happy Days, but Odd Couple is one of my all-time favorite just like things. I love the play. I love the Jack Lemmon Walter Matthau movie, and then I love the TV show. And then it's crazy how they never made any more Odd Couple things after that.
Yeah, they tried. Didn't Matthew Perry,
No,
wasn't
they
he
did.
attached
Yeah,
to
he
they,
was,
they,
and I-
they made a few.
yeah, they did. I was purposely ignoring everything else, but
Yeah.
the Odd Couple. I mean, Tony Randall and Jack Klugman, just great. Just one of the examples of a great written. It is one of the best examples of why sitcoms are filmed in front of a live studio audience, because the first season or 2 were filmed single camera, like a film. I can't believe we're just now getting into like what the laugh track is for. But
Sure.
I think Odd Couple is what a great example of it. So like the first season or 2 were filmed like a movie, single camera film, and then
Artistic.
added a laugh track in post.
Right.
And Get Smart was like that. Bewitched was like that. Green Acres was like that. But then Odd Couple, I don't know. I mean, maybe because they realized that we have Jack Klugman and Tony Randall, who are 2 great Broadway performers. So
Yeah.
let's put them in front of the actual audience. The show completely is revamped, not rebooted, but like they rebuild all the sets, they put in a studio audience, and then you get to see what a show feels like when it is shot like a play in front of an audience, and you have performers that are feeding off of each other, as well as the actual responses from the audience, which is a thing that drives me crazy, is when people always say that, oh, that canned laughter. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
That is actual laughter from actual people responding to actual things that they're seeing in the moment.
Yeah.
Period. And Odd Couple, like the last 3, maybe 4, I can't remember how many. It is one of the best examples of that, and it's just so good.
We reached peak laugh track in the late 90s where, I mean, when I watched TGIF, I felt like every audience member had their own microphone, and it was a little bit crazy. Like everybody screaming individually when Topanga and Corey.
I mean, come on.
But you're not wrong. Also, like, I doubt it's true. I doubt it's true for folks who are maybe teenagers now, but if you just said Felix and Oscar, people knew what you were talking about for years and years. This idea is an idea that permeates a lot of pop culture. This oil and water buddy cop movies or whatever, like rom-coms. It's everywhere, and I don't know if it's ever been done better. I think it's a great show, a ton of fun, so clever, so well written, and I got to go back and listen to some pre-studio audience, because that's a fascinating thing. I've never.
Brett, do you
know that.
know what the first sitcom was to do it in front of a live studio audience?
Oh, I love
Lucy.
I love Lucy.
Yeah.
Oh, which I don't know might be on this list.
Might be on the list. We'll see.
I don't think it's
Top
making
four?
it.
I don't know.
We'll see if Lucy has what it takes.
Think you can crack
And
top
men,
four?
if you are at sea when it comes to how to dress, The Odd Couple remains the pinnacle of men's fashion in sitcoms. Well, one of them, the actual,
I'd say both
yeah,
of them?
but like Felix is wild, and I do dress more like Felix. But what's crazy is that like Oscar, his slob outfits now read as like great. Like great knitwear ties, great trench coats, great like nice basic brown, suits, like really good clothing.
It's a
We
good
got-
looking guy. That's a good looking guy.
Google images up here, and it's a riot.
That's great. I love that.
So I say, yeah, Bran, you should go for the Felix
Okay.
Okay.
and go for Oscar.
I like
Okay.
Do that next
All right.
time.
Great.
Yeah, we'll do it after our next
So
break.
you need
for
to be
sure.
wearing like 3-piece suits
Yeah.
and ties, and I need to be wearing
Yeah.
a sideways baseball cap and an oversized
Honestly,
sweater.
you're not far
Yes.
off. I think we can make that happen. I am familiar with The Odd Couple. I really like The Odd Couple. It is one of those shows that for some reason doesn't come to mind super quickly for me, and maybe it was just about how
Didn't
much it
come
was
to me,
on in my house growing up. But you talking about it does ring so many bells for me, and it's a great one to have on the list.
All right, it's getting real, Brett. You got 4 spots left, and you really can't have a misstep here. You just can't.
You can't.
You can't afford it.
We're walking the tightrope.
We are. Yeah. What's number 4?
Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna try not to start crying.
All right.
Number 4 is the Bob Newhart Show.
Yeah.
I'm wearing the shirt that I designed. Go on TeePublic.
There you
Just
go.
as Bob with his face as the O. The Bob Newhart Show would be probably number 1 for me personally, or number 2 for me personally. But I think in terms of all time, it is number 4. The Bob Newhart Show. Bob Newhart was already a Best New Artist Grammy-winning superstar stand-up comedian. By the time he got the Bob Newhart Show at the age of like 41, which is maybe the age that certain people on this call are, and they're trying to use that as a reason to be like, maybe the best years are still ahead of you. So he gets this show, like it is the genius thing of stand-up comedian marrying them with premise. And Bob Newhart, whose whole thing is funny phone calls, and making him a psychologist, not a psychiatrist.
Right.
Because psychiatrist has 2 serious problems. Therapist is a little more fun. Making him a therapist is just a perfect marriage of comedian and premise. And then making him the straight man in a cast of almost all goofballs
Yep.
also works. And then pairing him with Suzanne Plachette and giving us, in my opinion, like the first fully realized adult urban couple without children,
Yep.
where both of them work, both of them are career people. They live in an apartment. It is basically, this is what I see Bob Newhart show. I see this is what I want my life to look like. Like this is what me and my husband, like this is what I aspire to, is Bob and Emily. Their Christmases are Christmases with the 2 of them and their friends. They don't have children. Bob Newhart said he would quit the show if they tried to give him children.
So great.
But it is one of the smartest shows. It goes from being a very well-written sitcom to, as it goes on, they start bringing in a little bit of the surreal, a little bit of the weird, especially with like Mr. Carlin, like his patients. Just Bill Daly, Peter Bonner's Marsha Wallace. Just a great show. I love it so much.
Bob Newhart's amazing.
Yeah.
It's an amazing television program. And I've always just been jealous of how funny Bob Newhart can be without voice inflection. Like no one delivers a lot. Like it's unbelievable. Like even, in like Elf, from this century, his ability to deliver emotion while seemingly being as dry as he's being is just so perfect. And you're right. Bob Newhart being a therapist is going to be funny. There's just
Yeah.
no way around it. If you didn't have the cast of characters, if you didn't have the great setup, the married couple with no kids, all that stuff that makes this show just perfect, Bob Newhart by himself makes it. And then everything after that is just gravy. This show's really funny. And then I mean, who can not love the finale? I mean,
Do y'all want
all-time finale.
Do y'all want an exclusive from Bob Newhart himself?
I didn't know
man.
we could do that, but yes, let's
Yeah.
do it right now. We have a Bob Newhart exclusive. Uh-oh.
Well,
do we?
Bob Newhart on the show, Bob Hartley. Well, okay. Also, my drag name is Barb Hardley, which is a play on Bob Hartley. Like, this show really inspires
Yeah,
me.
come on.
Yeah,
clearly.
I do believe he is the best dressed man in all of sitcom history, and I wrote an article about it for my old job. And Bob Newhart emailed me to respond to the article and said, "You should know that Ralph, my dresser, was colorblind. That we all covered it up. It's a little like a pilot who's afraid of heights. Many a sartorial disaster was avoided by Jenny, his wife's arrival, and her saying to Ralph, 'You've got to be kidding, Ralph.' Thanks for the birthday wishes, Bob. Sent from my iPad."
Oh my gosh.
Send from Bob's iPad.
I mean, and here's the thing is Bob Newhart passed away last year. Yes.
Yes.
I mean,
yeah.
and he was 94 and still just sharp as a tack. I mean,
he would email me every time. He emailed me, I think, 3 different times.
Wow.
Every time I wrote something about him. His assistant emailed my boss to get my email address after I wrote the first thing I wrote about him. And then I got to meet him when he did a show in St. Charles or St. Louis, and I got to meet him backstage. And it was, one of the greatest moments of my life.
I got to be honest. Brett White is kind of the dream guest for me in this list because he is taking his favorite and the best, and he's not trying to marry them. He's actually giving a take.
Yeah.
Instead of just going like, these are my favorites, so they're the best. This is clearly his favorite.
Yeah.
But he knows that there are more seminal sitcoms that he's got to get to because, but the restraint to put this at 4, considering what we just heard from you, is super admirable.
Yeah, it is.
Man.
Sent from Bob's
Sent
iPad.
from Bob's iPad.
Incredible.
He just right there. He cranked it out.
Man, that's great. Yeah, obviously an amazing show. Bob Newhart's the best. Number 4.
All right, we got. Man, it's getting bull.
We got
All right,
number 3.
3, 2, 1. This is big. We got 3 left.
where the players play. Here we go.
I'm excited to see where we go.
Number 3, Mary Tyler Moore.
Okay.
Low. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. You will see I have a B on my wall, like Mary's M. I'm moving to Minneapolis, apparently, so I'm also going to be living that Mary Tyler Moore life. Bramble Jam, another exclusive.
That's right. Yeah.
Man, we're getting so
we
many
just signed you.
exclusives.
That's a verbal signature right there. Yeah.
Mary Tyler Moore show, just groundbreaking in every way, in terms of depicting a single 30-something childless, unmarried woman in a city working. Her career is first, yet she is also not a Murphy Brown type. Like, Mary Richards is still like a soft, insecure, but finds a backbone, throws horrible parties, just like a really 3-dimensional character, but is surrounded by just an amazing cast: Gavin MacLeod, Ed Asner, Ted Knight, and then Valerie Harper, Betty White,
Come on.
Forrest Leachman,
Come on.
Georgia Engel, just an amazing cast of characters responsible for some of the greatest sitcoms of all time. And Mary Richards is obviously the third of my triumvirate of best dressed women in television.
Obviously. Obviously. Yeah. Of course.
Just fantastic. Just a killer show from beginning to end. A killer show that also survives a lot of cast turnover because they all kept getting spinoffs.
Yeah. Bran, Mary Tyler Moore.
Love Mary Tyler Moore. She's so dang funny. Just one of the funniest people to ever live. Just the best.
But for me, this show, when I heard we were doing this list, I immediately just said out loud, well, Mary Tyler Moore's got to be number 1. But just because, and now that I'm thinking about it, I would take one other answer at number 1 if you have it. But so first of all, there's a few classics from sitcoms before 1980 that you have to have. And I think weirdly enough, a great theme song and a good finale are both in there. And
Oh,
I swear
I just
to
got full
God,
body chills.
That's right.
Full body chills. The theme song makes me cry. The fact that season 1, it goes from you might just make it after all
That's
to
right.
you're gonna make it
after all.
You sure are.
Throw that hat in the air, freeze frame that sucker.
Yeah.
And then the group hug that shuffles. Are you kidding me right now?
So good.
Ted Baxter walked, so all of these one-off singular Ron Swanson-ish characters could run. Ed Asner, freaking Ed Asner in this show. Betty White, you listed them all.
Yeah.
But this is like workplace sitcom and character. Everybody at the top of their game. Perfect theme song. Perfect finale. I just don't know how it gets better than this.
The greatest Christmas episode of all time, Christmas and the Hard Luck Kid 2 from season 1.
So good.
Where Mary has to work on Christmas Eve.
That's right.
And it is quite possibly it's my favorite Christmas episode ever.
Thoughts
So it is
on-
number 1 on one list.
Thoughts on a very Brady Christmas? What are your takes there?
Oh, it's so bad it's good.
Yeah.
I mean,
There you go. Of course. That's the correct answer.
It's no Very
Yeah, I
Brady
mean,
sequel.
No, it's not.
no.
No.
The Very Brady Christmas sequel? Ooh, make it.
What are we waiting on? Did you watch the thing a couple years ago about it was like an HGTV thing where they
Yes.
did the house? Was it
And
any
I
good?
cried.
Oh,
I
you did?
cried. So perfect. So perfect.
So perfect.
Exactly my kind of insanity. I
I
a Very
love-
Brady renovation. I think you have to watch it.
I
It
love
is-
that Bran was like, "Did you watch the thing with the
And he-
house?"
and
you
he
were
knew.
Like, yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I know exactly. I think you
Yes.
just said, "Did you watch the thing?" And I'm like, I know where this is going. Absolutely. Yes.
That's why Brett and I we get
That's
it.
right.
Okay, we have 2 left. Number 2, what do we got?
This is where when you're making a top 10 list, you have to get controversial a little. You
bit.
have to make a stand.
Yeah.
You got to flip the script a little bit. And that's why we're going I Love Lucy number 2.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I like that play.
And this
that
also
play.
could be number 1. I'm not, but so what the children need to understand is that the entire idea of comedy on television is the result of a Cuban immigrant and a woman and their mixed race marriage that CBS was like, I don't
Bam.
know if we're ready for
Yeah.
this.
Bam.
And what they did, the idea of putting comedy in front of an audience on television, it's them. The idea of having 3 cameras record the action live, it's them. And then most importantly, the idea of recording on film
Yeah.
so that you can rerun things
Yep.
is a Desi Arnaz joint.
Yes.
Like he did that. We wouldn't have recorded television if it wasn't for him. Because before that, you know what they did? They put a camera on a TV that was broadcasting it. And they recorded it that way. They literally put the iPhone up to the computer screen and they recorded it that way.
Recording a song
That's how
off
they
the
used to
radio.
do things.
Yeah.
And then Desi was like, let's put this on film. And then you have Lucille Ball,
Yeah. A force.
who is the greatest comedian of all time still. And also William Frawley and Vivian Vance as Ethel and Fred. Also great.
Ethel and Fred.
You
Classic.
have a show that somehow 70 years later you watch and it is still hilarious.
Yeah.
Period. Like
Yeah.
it's a magical marvel how funny it is still.
Bran, you clearly love this show.
I love Lucy, and I love you, Lucy. This show is so stinking funny, and it is like so many memories of me as a child just watching this show as a family, and like it just being on. It felt like it was always on in my house. The fact that I've seen any of these other shows is actually kind of a marvel because of how much I Love Lucy was on. I love this show so much. Number 2, I don't know.
So
Brett.
this show, I remember my grandmother's laughter, like so specifically when it comes to this show. Like it has a very core memory. Like my grandmother, who literally smoked cigarettes from the time she was 14 to the
Heck
time she
yeah.
was 85
Let's
years
go.
old, 70 years of smoking cigarettes, and just lived a long, full life anyway. But just when she would really get going laughing, she would be like wheezing. And there was something about whether it's Lucy stuffing all the cherries in her mouth or that with the conveyor belt, like whatever it is, My grandmother loved this show. Obviously, Lucille Ball, a force, comedic genius, one of the best physical comedians ever. Also fought against, the Red Scare, like fought against some really tough political stuff, and was able to do some pretty crazy things. The reason that
first pregnant woman on air. They couldn't even say the word pregnant.
That's right. They were sleeping in separate beds. How are they pregnant?
Yeah.
Brett? Love
finds a way.
The reason that I think that Mary Tyler Moore is better is because I'm not taking anything away from I Love Lucy. I think it is an absolute force of a television program. But in the way that Mary Tyler Moore paved the way for these like workplace comedies, I Love Lucy paved the way for the what if we put funny people in funny circumstances comedies, which I just don't like it. Like by the time The Big Bang Theory was on season, 1,000, it was like, what if Sheldon had to go to the blank? It was just Mad Libs with Sheldon. And so Jim Parsons, God love him, a great actor, and he made that work. I'm sure I stopped watching. I'm sure he did. But there's only, in my opinion, you kind of ceiling out at some point with just what are the different circumstances that happened this week?
Yeah.
Lucy
was on Lucy was on television every week for like 15 years. That's what people don't realize is Lucy's show and like Here's Lucy also ran for like 5 seasons each.
Yeah. And so there were definitely a capitalization on like a Mad Lib version of how do we use this genius. And so for me, while it has to be on this list. It had to be, in my opinion, in the top 5, but there are shows that I would return to far more quickly than I would return to I Love Lucy, but I love it. It's great.
What I love pointing out, which I've done on my classic TV sitcom, my classic TV podcast, Must Have Seen TV, which I should have mentioned before now.
Yeah. You do that.
On hiatus. But when you watch other sitcoms from the 50s and you realize this was on the same time as I Love Lucy, and you're like, why did they even bother?
Why'd they even try?
What are they doing? It looks horrible. There are no jokes. The kids are like, like bad.
Yeah.
Bad. But it's mind-blowing how light years ahead I Love Lucy was, and also remained for a while.
Wasn't it like live 50, 60 million viewers, like live watching this
the
thing?
number one, like just insane numbers.
Nobody's going to be with me. I even love the Sorkin movie with Nicole Kidman.
Oh, yeah.
And Javier Bardem. I thought Javier Bardem was great.
Yeah.
I loved it. I was a big fan.
It was like catnip for me. I was like, I love all this. So none of this stuff happened at the same time, but still,
Doesn't
whatever.
matter.
It's great.
Doesn't matter.
All right, man. We have Bob Newhart, Mary Tyler Moore, I Love Lucy. What could be at number
possibly
one? Let's find out.
Outgun those.
Oh my God. Well, it is the Dick Van Dyke Show.
It's a great answer.
Number one.
It's a great answer.
I view I Love Lucy is the Chuck Berry. Dick Van Dyke Show is the Beatles.
Yeah.
Like that. The Dick Van Dyke Show took, and makes sense why, because it was a Desilu production. Lucille Ball's production studio made the Dick Van Dyke Show. It took everything that I Love Lucy did and made it modern in a way that, whereas, like you were saying, I Love Lucy does remain kind of like put a funny person in a funny situation. The Dick Van Dyke Show is fully realized 3-dimensional characters in believable, realistic situations that still, of course, get crazy. Having complicated, realistic responses to things, and it works. And it is still so funny. It's like the first show. I think it is the first show with real characters, with real dialogue, having making you really laugh. And it works today.
Yeah.
Stand out. And it is also the pioneer of the work home.
That's right.
Like the 2 avenues that it goes down. You have Mary Tyler Moore and dumb old Larry Matthews as Richie.
Yep.
I love it. They have a dumb kid. That's one of my favorite things.
So funny.
At home, Mary Tyler Moore wore pants, and everyone was like, "What? She can't wear pants on television." She was like, "This is what women wear. We wear pants at home. I'm not going to wear an evening gown at home." And then you have Rosemary and Maury Amsterdam, another one of my heroes, and also gay legend Richard Deacon at work. And just perfect. Just an absolute gem of a show.
It is a perfect sitcom. It's a perfect situational comedy because it is. I think Mary Tyler Moore has the richest characters and the longest lasting legacy over what I think of when I think of a sitcom. However, this combines just pure situational comedy with characters, and let's not forget the title character here, who is an absolute 100-year-old national treasure.
Yeah.
I mean, just facial expression. He is the antithesis of Bob Newhart in every way. And just crush the intro where he trips over the ottoman.
I used to, as a kid, be like, I hope this is one where he trips.
Yeah,
And then
whenever you see it, I would lose my mind. I was
so
like,
funny.
you got me again, that son of a bee.
It's so weird that like usually the title character of a show, you're always like, oh, okay, yeah, like they're funny. But like Dick Van Dyke manages to be the center of the show while also not being a showboat, while also being the funniest, but also being the most mild-mannered. Like it's a weird dance he does.
Yeah. I love
so good.
Any time that there's something going on in the dining room and the kitchen and they shouldn't know each other. You know what I mean? Like there's something going on in the dining room and the kitchen. It's like, we got to go in the kitchen and talk about what they don't know in the dining room. I feel like those episodes are hilarious and have been robbed. Like the tires are so bare on that idea now. But I feel like Dick Van Dyke, which may have not been the first place that happened. I'm sure Lucy did it some. But the Dick Van Dyke Show was perfect at these dinner guests don't know that something's going on in the kitchen and I'm pissed off and I got to go to the kitchen. Can you help me in the kitchen? And then you go in there and you come back and put a face on. It was so great. Just a perfect comedy.
What connects my top three is this story that I love that Mary Tyler Moore would tell like in the 90s is that, she gets the show and this is her first thing. She'd been on Broadway, I think, but mainly she was known as like the Hot Point spokes lady who was like a little dancing elf known for her legs. And so she's on this show with like Rosemary, who was a child star. And she's like 50 at this point, like Maury Amsterdam, Dick Van Dyke, like these are legends. And she's like, I'm like 22, it's my first show. What's going on? And she remember they were doing rehearsals for like one of the earliest episodes. And they filmed on the Desilu lot, the lot where like Lucille Ball was their landlord essentially. And she recalled hearing Lucille Ball laughing. She was watching from the rafters above where the lights are. And she came down and she just looked at Mary Tyler Moore. Like she was like walking by and she stopped and looked and she looked her in the eye and said, "You're really funny."
Wow.
And just kept going.
Ooh, man.
And Mary Tyler Moore was just like, Lucille Ball just looked at me out of everyone and said, "You are really funny." And like that gave her the confidence to like do coast to coast big mouth. It may look like a walnut. The surreal Twilight Zone episode they do out of nowhere. Just like it's experimental. It just amazing.
Fantastic.
Oh God.
I love it. What a list.
Yeah, it's a
what
great
list, Brett
list.
White. Unbelievable.
A great list. I think the top three is the top three. The conversation is the order correct? I agree. I don't know. And then there's I think the rest of it we can play with it. We're gonna play with it. Let's take a break. We're gonna come back. We're gonna play with this list. We're each gonna take a stab at it, see if we can make it even better. That's on the other side of the break here on the Diss List.
Deck the Diss List.
It's too many years.
With Brandon Dan.
Hi everybody, welcome back. We're talking
Wow.
pre-1980s sitcoms
Oh, my
today.
goodness.
A topic that means nothing to anyone.
No one has strong opinions on these at all.
No one cares.
That's why we got the Pop Heist's Brett White with
That's
us.
right.
Who also
Someone who
has
has a 1990 Sony Trinitron sitting behind him that
What-
he watches G.I. Joe on.
What did you say? Must have seen TV? Is that the name?
Oh
of
yeah,
it?
Must Have Seen TV, my sitcom podcast that I did from 2017 to December, and then I launched Pop Heist, and haven't had time to go back.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Every time you say Pop Heist, I think Popeye's chicken.
I know.
I love that
I'm
Pop
waiting for
Heist
that. I would love
website.
that deal.
Yeah.
Anyone, please, Popeyes, give us a deal.
Love that TV from Popeyes.
That's good.
I'm helping you out there.
That's
Doing the best I
good.
can with what I got.
Let's remind the people, Dan, of what we have on this list. Number 10, Taxi. Number 9, Bewitched. Number 8, All in the Family. Number 7, Get Smart. Number 6, Green Acres. Number 5, The Odd Couple. Number 4, Bob Newhart Show. Number 3, The Mary Tyler Moore Show. Number 2, I Love Lucy. And number 1, according to Brett, best pre-1980 sitcom is The Dick Van Dyke Show. Dan, you and I, we were in the lab during that break, coming up with some things that we wanted to change to it.
That's right.
Brett, we're each going to get to make some changes.
That's right.
Dan's going to talk through his lists, and then I'm going to talk through my list. And on each of those, we've been able to replace 2, get rid of 2 of your sitcoms and replace them with 2 that we think should be in there. And then we could also flip 2 if we think that one deserves to be higher, whatever. And you're going to get to see both of those lists and then decide
you have to
which
choose
one
which list to go with.
you think is the perfect list. Dan, I'll let you go first.
All right, Brett. So what I did, I was inspired by what you did with how you loved certain shows and then how certain shows were just the best. I put one show in that I think needs to be on the list, and I put one show in that I loved, even if it wasn't everyone's favorite. The show I put in that I think needs to be on the list is a show called MASH. There's a lot of reasons MASH should be on this list. It is the first time I remember as a kid a show shifting gears so incredibly hard, from utter silliness to utter death in a way that felt like it was supposed to do it. And Alan Alda, when he starts writing those episodes, it gets really serious. I remember watching Good Morning Vietnam and being like, somebody watched a lot of MASH. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I remember the impact of MASH. I think it was about a decade long. Like the finale, which is like one of the most watched television programs ever. This show was an impact of the overwhelming feeling of the country at a time where it's like, kind of like now, hey, the world's on fire. What if we laugh a little bit with our death? Like that was kind of the prevailing feeling. It's hard for me to think about a pre-1980s sitcom list that doesn't include this show, which I think was pretty revolutionary for its time and I think belongs on the list. So I think that belongs there. The other show I'm putting on is Happy Days. Now, I understand that Happy Days might have jumped the shark before Henry Winkler got on the skis for some people. But for me, like I grew up in a world where TGIF, everyone had a effing catchphrase. Everyone on every show you watched, whether it was Did I Do That or How Rude or whatever it was.
No sweat, my pet.
No sweat, whatever it was, everybody had a catchphrase. I mean,
how rude.
How rude. That's right. Yeah. And so I hate that happened probably because of the shows before 1980. But the Fonz, Henry Winkler, a national treasure. And I could, watching him in Happy Days is still hilarious. And also Richie's dad, now I can't think of his name.
Tom Bosley.
Yeah, Tom Bosley. Oh my God. There's a morning where Richie's mom wants everybody to wake up early to have family breakfast. And so she gets Tom Bosley up and he believes that it's an eclipse and he just can't get, he's like, that's the only reason we'd be up right now. It's dark outside. It's a total eclipse. And he gets so mad. And I just remember that scene. That's fun. Everything that Henry Winkler does is great. I loved this show as a child. Mm-hmm. So I'm putting that on there because it's a fave, but I'm putting on at 10. Okay. So the 2 shows I replaced were All in the Family and Green Acres. I get that. I get why you would have those on the list. After hearing the pitch for Green Acres, I'm starting to think maybe I'm wrong about that. But those are the 2 that I'd seen the least of. And so I figured I could take them off the list. I moved Taxi up to 6 from 10 because I love that show and I think it's a who's who of incredibly important cultural zeitgeisty people all working together, not knowing they're all going to be incredibly important cultural zeitgeisty people. I moved that up to 6. I moved Happy Days, which replaced Green Acres, down to 10. And then I replaced All in the Family with MASH, a straight replace at 8. And then, and this is the controversial part, I switched I Love Lucy and Mary Tyler Moore.
That's wild.
I get it. It is probably going to lose me this round.
I don't know.
To have I Love Lucy at 3. I understand that. But, sometimes I argue the show that walked so everyone else could run should be number 1 just because of that. In this case, I would argue that I Love Lucy, none of these other shows would happen without I Love Lucy. I don't think there's any arguing that. I think for me, we got really incredibly talented people who went, I Love Lucy made it possible for me to make it better. And I think that's what has happened, and especially Mary Tyler Moore and Dick Van Dyke. And I couldn't switch it the way I wanted it without switching all three of them. So I moved Mary Tyler Moore up one spot, I Love Lucy down one spot. So what I have is what I think a really comprehensive list. 10 Happy Days, 9 Bewitched, 8 MASH, 7 Get Smart, 6 Taxi, 5 Odd Couple, 4 Bob Newhart, 3 I Love Lucy, 2 Mary Tyler Moore, 1 Dick Van Dyke.
What
do you think? What do you think there, Brett? How are we feeling?
All good.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm not partial on the family. MASH was in the All in the Family boat for me, where it's like I haven't seen a lot of MASH because it wasn't on Nick at Night as a kid.
Yep.
But what I've seen, I love. But also, it is one of it's a watch.
It is a watch.
You have to decide. I'm watching MASH.
Yes.
Like I'm not just putting it on in the background.
Correct.
I have to actually, and I might feel bad after this.
Yeah. There's a chance.
So it's kind of like a heavy watch.
It is.
And then I love Happy Days. Like I have a
Monday.
I have a soft spot for it. Early Happy Days. I think Happy Days is the where I think I might like the earlier filmed single cam, not in front of a studio audience versions. The Christmas episode where they invite Fonzie to Christmas, but Fonzie keeps being like, "No, man, I gotta get to Wisconsin."
Yeah,
it's great. Great episode. It's great. Hey. Oh, and also the Halloween episode is also very good.
Oh yeah. That's some good stuff.
I love a special.
Bag of
Brett,
the Demons.
what do you got, Brett?
Brett, you did such a wonderful job with your list of clearly trying to be as impartial as possible. I don't have that ability. I can't do that. I don't know how. So I am adding, a lot of what I did here is just, if you were in my living room growing up, Brett, you would understand. You would understand everything that I'm about to do. I am adding to the list one of my favorite shows of all time, which is Leave It to Beaver. And I think it is a timing thing for me. I watched it as a kid, watching basically myself. Like I was Beaver, and I just felt it. It worked for me, and I absolutely loved it. And I'm also adding to the list Andy Griffith Show. It was honestly in my house. It was Lucy and it was Andy Griffith on all the time.
Yes.
And so I love this show. I think it's so funny. It's so many funny characters in this show, and it just
Can
works.
I tell you that I loved Andy Griffith, and then our church, Southern Baptist Church in South Carolina, did a Bible study based on Andy Griffith, and it ruined Andy Griffith for me.
Did they learn a lot about progressive ideals because Andy Griffith, famous Democrat, and the Andy Griffith Show, incredibly liberal? I don't know. Just saying.
Yeah, for sure.
People.
For sure they did. Yeah.
So I had to get rid of 2 of them, obviously, to add those 2 to the list. And so I got rid of the 2 that I care the least about. I didn't get rid of Taxi. Okay.
Good.
I left Taxi on there because I am so intrigued by Taxi. So I left it on there. I got rid of Get Smart and Green Acres.
Get Smart.
I did what I did, and I apologize. And so here is what I have done. I have brought Leave It to Beaver in.
Have you ever seen Get Smart?
Yes, I've seen Get Smart, just not a lot. Okay, so I know All in the Family doesn't do a ton for you. I actually moved it up to 7, moved Get Smart down, and then replaced Get Smart with Leave It to Beaver. So Leave It to Beaver is now at 8. And then I did a clean replace Andy Griffith for Green Acres. And then for my big flip, I moved I Love Lucy to number 1, Dick Van Dyke down to number 2. I've never been somebody who is like, they're the reason why everything existed. And
Usually
that's why
I'm the guy that's arguing that. And he's not.
One, it's just fundamentally true, right? About Lucy. 2, I still think that it is as good as it gets. It is as funny of a show as there is. I moved Lucy. Lucy is everything. I love Lucy. I'm moving Lucy to 1, Dick Van Dyke to number 2, who I also adore. I love Dick Van Dyke. Dick Van Dyke is the best part of everything that he is in.
Pretty much.
Ever. And so he's pretty darn good. But I like you, I probably would have moved Mary Tyler Moore ahead of Dick Van. So I probably would have had.
You couldn't make
but
it
I couldn't
the way
do it to also do
you
the other
wanted
things.
Lucy, Mary, then Dick Van
That's
Dyke.
what I wanted,
Mary Tyler Moore.
But it doesn't matter. This is what we have. I think this top 3 is correct.
Yes.
And we could do this
we
all day.
all have different orders for
We
the
could
top
do this
3,
all
which
day.
is fantastic.
Yeah. So, it's just the addition of Leave It to Beaver, Andy Griffith Show that you, and the things that have been lost from your list that you have to deal with. But what are your thoughts?
I mean, I have to like Get Smart and Green Acres are my dark horse picks. Like Green Acres is very much my like, whenever you make a top 10 list, you're like, underappreciated fave that's actually great. You
Yeah,
always have
yeah,
to do one of
yeah.
them. And the Green Acres is absolutely my ride or die for that. But so
Sure.
like, Andy Griffith was my dad's favorite show, and at his funeral, I requested that they play it, and they didn't do it. So I got
Oh.
my laptop out and I just hit it on Netflix, and I was like,
Yeah, you
"Play."
did.
And going back
You
and
should have
watching
just
Andy
stood up
Griffith,
and started whistling it, and
Yeah.
just see if anyone joins you.
I always avoided Andy Griffith growing up because my dad loved it so much, and I was
Sure.
always like, "Oh, it's my dad's show." But then watching it and actually seeing how open-minded, open-hearted, and like good, like everything I love about the South is actually in Andy Griffith's show.
Mhm.
And it's a thing where I wish that a lot of other people who love the show would actually
See,
watch
sure.
the show.
Yeah.
But whatever. Leave It to Beaver is I mean, that's disqualifying.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I could know, but Leave It to Beaver is fine. Leave It to Beaver is what it is. I put it in there with like Donna Reed and Father
Sure.
Knows Best and all that, and it's hey, it's the beef. Wally
It's
and
the beef. It's the beef. All right. Well, you got two lists. It sounds like I'm disqualified for
Yeah.
adding Leave It to Beaver.
Yeah.
So I think you're going to pick Dan's list, but you can pick one now, Brett.
Dan's list.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh no.
It's tough. That's
I'm
tough.
sorry. I'm sorry.
No. Listen, there had to
Yeah.
be a winner and a loser, Brett, and I think you brought the thing that made this tough is you brought a list that I don't know how much I would actually change. That's the reality of it, is that you know this stuff better than we do, and so you brought the list that is the definitive one. I just happened to win, which
It is
what it is.
But it's another Wednesday
another
around
notch
here.
on the belt. You know what I mean?
That's right,
Dude.
A great list
Oh.
brought by Brett. Possibly our most complete list
Easily.
from the beginning. Really well done, which I think shows the people, Brett, why they must head to Pop Heist to read your stuff. Because what a noggin on this fella. What a great
God.
mind. Tell people what they can expect to find when they head over to Pop Heist.
Oh, right now you can find recaps of a lot of stuff. That's kind of what we've been focusing on. Recaps of current shows, free for everyone. Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Project Runway, which I'm doing. Just started Alien Earth. But then under the paywall, I am pairing writers with the shows they love and letting them just go ham. So Sean T. Collins just finished The Prisoner, and he will be he's doing I, Claudius right now. On Tuesdays, we have My G.I. Joe recaps, the 80s animated series.
Watched on the
Wednesday-
television behind you, of
That's right,
course.
of course.
Yes, and
In
Wednesday
all
is
its
Paul
forceful
Montgomery
glory.
doing Murder, She Wrote. Then we have Grace Leader doing Dark from Netflix, and Melody Esme doing Freaks and Geeks. So that's kind of where we've been focused. And please give us money so that we can keep letting our writers do ridiculous things.
I love it.
Well, I don't have as much insight into the struggles of journalism as you and some of our other friends do that actually have been in the business for a long time. But if you can, please support Brett.
Yes.
Please get a subscription to Pop Heist. It's my understanding is that it's tough out there. And so please go and support the people that you like what they're writing. Support them,
Yeah.
please. That's
Least you could do.
That's what we got to do. We love you, buddy, and we can't wait to talk to you again this holiday season. Of course, on Deck the Hallmark, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes.
It's a tradition at this point.
That's right.
Can't wait for that. Thank you so much, Brett. Come on back next week for another list to dist. Until then, keep dissing
dissing
those
those
lists.
What are you doing?
Wrong button.
Wrong button.
It's the Desk List with Brandon Dunn. It's the Desk List.